Welcome everyone to the NEMSIS V3 implementation call. Today is March 10th. We are happy to have you here with us this morning. This session is being recorded and your attendance is consent to be recorded. These are listed on our website and on our YouTube channel. So if you're ever missing a V3 call, or if there's a section that you want to share with one of your partners, those are available for your review as well. Some of them get fairly technical, so it's been helpful to many of our stakeholders to have the ability to go back through and listen to sections of the V3 calls at a later date. We do encourage conversation and questions. So if there are issues that you want to bring up during the call, please feel free to do so. You can unmute or use the chat feature, and we'll watch the chat feature as we go through. Today will be a little bit of a short V3 section of the call. As Drew Laurel brought up earlier, we overlapped this call intentionally with the third iteration of the IHE trainings and discussions that we've been having all week, because we knew so many of the vendors committed to being here on the V3 call. We wanted to take full advantage of that availability and time. So as you can see on the agenda, we'll move through pretty quickly for V3. And then those who are not interested or involved in that IHE conversation, you're welcome to drop off, and participation for vendors will just be this first section of the V3 call. Go ahead and turn it over to Laurel for just a quick maintenance update.
Good morning, everyone. So I'll keep this update really quick today. We don't have any planned maintenance for the month of March and nothing else to report. Please feel free to send me an email or a chat if you have any additional questions. We're always here to help answer questions and help you with whatever you need. Thanks.
Thank you, Laurel. Next on the agenda is an ET3 update with John and Neil. John and Neil, do we have you with us today?
Yes, I'm here, Julianne, and have a slide or two just to share, so if I could.
Absolutely. Chris, would you co-host John?
Okay, thanks everyone. I just wanted to share a few things this morning. Hopefully it won't take too long. Just starting out, just wanted to give a heads up. We've got, a lot of activity over the last week or so. Right now, I've recorded about 55 users who have requested API, our key requester role, and so we are getting activity there. We also have about 193K PCRs. This is cumulative over the last 2 months, I should say. So we are getting PCRs on a regular basis from about 18 ET3 submitters. So we still got a long way to go, but it is encouraging to see that we are getting some activity. So I would encourage you, if you do have a vendor or your participant is not yet engaged, to go ahead and reach out to them and see if you can stimulate some activity on their side. Just from a reminder on a technical issue, I have a do and a don't. So with the don't first, we're not accepting 3.5 PCRs yet. So just wanted to reiterate that it must be version 3.4. So please, make sure that you are sending the 3.4 version. That's the only one that we're going to accept. And in terms of a do, we are asking that you submit the correct value for the SOAP message, particularly the tag that's WS organization. And then for your D-agency field values, we also are requesting that you send the correct values there. So we are getting a couple of organizations that we need to reach out to and make sure we get those correct values coming in on those. So just want to give you a heads up there. Another reminder, we've extended to April 30th, as most of you probably have heard already, And just want to make the reminder that we are looking for PCR data from January, February, and March, and that the historical data will be for March 2019 through February 2020. So I just want to point out that, again, that's kind of what we're looking for, from that standpoint. I wanted to cover real quickly the system outage topic and just let you know that, yeah, communication is very important for you to understand when the system's available. We do have a schedule for planned outages, which I've asked the development team to put together and allow for us to publish that. So that is something that you will be seeing soon that, will typically go around any production release date. So we will make sure that that message gets out. And there are two groups within CMS that might be communicating outages information to you. So there is the ET3 model team. Of course, they're reaching out to all of the participants, and we have a list of vendors as well. And then the CBOS, that's our help desk. They communicate systems outages to all the users. So they have the email addresses for them, and they will communicate those outages to you. So just wanted to make sure you understood that. Finally, I'm just gonna just mentioned, yeah, you guys have a crosswalk right now from the TAC group, and there may be some updates to that in the future, but please use that as a way of not only identifying potential or your participants that you might be in needing of reaching out to, but also use that as a way of getting the correct values that we talked about earlier on the de-agency fields. So those values are contained as part of that vendor list that's been published. So that's pretty much it. I just want to also talk real quickly about the ability to make sure that we're requesting the right roles. So in terms of the participant for CDX, there's only one role that we're looking for folks to go ahead and request. So that one role is the APIR key requester role. So that's for the participant as well as the software vendor. That's the only role that we're wanting you to request in CDX. And then there is the ET3 model participant role, which is again a part of a different area within the system. And I just took a screen capture here of, sorry about that, of the home page here, and you can see the CDX one is here, and then ET3. So there are two different areas in which whatever role you request, you are going to be looking for functionality within either CDX or within the main business area, which is supported there for ET3. So just want to reiterate, for the participants, there are two different roles that they can request. For the software vendor, typically it's going to be just one. Okay, that's my updates. That's really all I have. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free.
Yeah, thanks, John. If I might add on the communications, I'll be with the vendors that we have information on that you're supporting an ET3 participant, just to make sure there isn't another email address that you'd prefer to have for these communications. I know somebody had mentioned that at the last implementation meeting. So I'm a little behind on outreach for that piece, but I will definitely be reaching out to vendors to get their preferred email address for any communications from ET3 for that list. And then, yeah, just to reiterate, John, if you wouldn't mind going back to that slide with the two application tiles. As John said, that for participants, they, depending on how as well they structure, they'll likely be getting access to both CDX and ET3. Just as a note for if you get questions from participants on kind of what the data is going to be looking like, and that's a lot of those management functions, that's where the ET3 app will come in. CDX we're primarily using for the time being as strictly a data submission platform. I think as we build out some features, which we're excited about announcing later in the course of the year, there will be more there. But for now, kind of a simple way to kind of compartmentalize it is CDX is strictly for data submissions, and a lot of the management pieces, as well as seeing more of the, what the data says from an analytical point, will occur in the ET3 in the ET3 app that you see there on the right side. So just wanted to share that. And yeah, like John said, pausing for any questions.
Neil and John, there is a question in the chat about documentation for step-by-step directions on getting registered.
Yeah, so let me just point you to a couple of things you might already be aware of. So there is the guide that we have, which is posted already out on ET3 Connect. This is the data submission guide. And that one has some screen captures as well as steps that you take to get onboarded. We also have a frequently asked questions list, which will be published sometime in the very near future. And that also will be posted out on ET3 Connect. So those are the two main things I would point to in terms of written documentation. And you know, we're very good at responding, Neil and I, to any questions or anything like that. I know some of you are putting together your own individual guides that will be for your customers, and I think that's a great thing. You know, and I know we've talked about sharing some things that, again, we all might be able to benefit from, and maybe that's something we can explore down the road. But in terms of what we have currently, these are the two areas I would point you to.
Yeah, John or Neil, this is Clay. Could you put the perhaps the link that would bring you to that submission guide maybe in the chat? Is that possible? Just in case, folks.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do that. So sure, yeah. Before we depart, we'll definitely put that up there. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Sure.
Are there any other questions for John and Neil? All right. The next item on the agenda is just a reminder of the 334 data acceptance that sunsets in August of this year. NEMSIS will stop accepting data in the 334 format. We have a handful of states that still submit 334. So if you need assistance, tools, support in transitioning to 3.5, just let us know. We're happy to help in any way that we can. So I just wanted to put that reminder out there. Next on the agenda, well, let's see, I'll put up the agenda. We wanted to announce dates for the boot camp and the annual meeting. We have decided to go virtual again this year out of respect for safety concerns, limited travel allowances, and also budgets. So although we will be terribly sorry not to see you all again this year in person, we are going to do the annual meeting virtually. So these are the dates, and we'll get out some publications and put a banner on the website and share these widespread. So boot camp will be specific to 3.5 transition for states, and that'll be July 13th. And then our annual meeting will be the same format that we did last year, 3 half days. And so that will be August 3rd through the 5th. So we'll be sending out additional information for that as well. Next on the agenda, Eric, was there anything that you would like to share from NHTSA's Office of EMS? We may have lost Eric there for a minute. I do have a question on the boot camp. The boot camp will be, it is recorded. So if you're not able to make it, we'll share that with you. You know, sometimes even planning that far ahead can be difficult. Are there any items for open forum that anybody would like to bring forward?
Hi, Julianne. It looks like Eric may be on. Eric, you're muted. I know that you have limited laptop availability. Eric, you may be calling in. I just wanted to give you one more opportunity. Wasn't sure if you knew you were muted. Okay.
And one more question in the chat for boot camp. This boot camp will be designed for any data manager that is looking for support, tools, training on how to transition to 3.5. So it won't be just for new and learning data managers. It will be open to all data managers. All right, let's go ahead. Clay, let's transition to the second half of this call. So those of you who were joining us for the V3 call, we have got all the participants down. This is the end of the official V3 call, and we appreciate your participation. We're glad to have you here with us, and you are all welcome to stay on for this next session for quality outcome reporting with Andrea Forquet. So just so you're aware, you can drop off if needed, but you are welcome to stay.